Sippers, welcome to this episode of the Tea With Me podcast. I'm very much Shane Todd. Hope everybody is, a wee bit aggressive, hope everybody is suitably relaxed with your cup of tea, or maybe you're some sort of deviant that sort of snuck in a cup of coffee to listen to this podcast, in which case, normally it wouldn't fly, but it's lockdown, so just enjoy yourself. I want this podcast to be kind of like the last day of school, you know, where you're just running about enjoying yourself. It's like, you know, everything's a bit more relaxed. You know, you get your shirt signed by all your classmates. I don't know why people did that, but I mean, the only person who signed my shirt on the last day of school was a janitor, and he left his number, which was weird, but it's a good time. It's a good time. I've done my back in, okay, so that's always fun. I've done my back in because I'm 87 years old, but I'm not going to let that stop me enjoying this podcast. My guest this week was none other than Jamie Dornan. Jamie is from my hometown of Hollywood, where Rory McIlroy is also from. Hollywood and County Down. You know, a lot of people can't believe that three guys like us come from the same town. You know, that's what people always say all around the world. They go, that's crazy that, you know, such a small town yet it produced three guys that are like equally killing it career-wise. You know, you've got Rory McIlroy, one of the best golfers in the world. You've got Jamie Dornan, who just rises and rises as an actor, and if he's doing a series, he's doing a series, or he's doing a film, or he's doing something for Netflix. You know, he has a lot of irons in the fire. He continues to just be this like leading man. You know, he's done the 50 Shades films, he's done The Fall. And then they go, you've also got Sean Todd. And I go, it's actually Shane Todd. And they go, whatever. You know, but yeah, you know, I talk about this in stand-up, but about where I come from. But yeah, you know, me, Rory and Jamie would be known internationally kind of as the Three Amigos. You know, a lot of people would call us that because people in all corners of the world would be aware of what we've done. You know, and that's great. You know, it's humbling if anything. And this podcast was so much fun. You know, it's the first time I put on aftershave before a podcast, just because I felt like I needed to bring something to the table when I'm sharing the screen with Jamie Dornan. I've met Jamie a couple of times and we've talked via email a little bit. He always strikes me as, first of all, very funny. You know, a lot of people were waiting for me to say very attractive. Yes, he is very attractive. I mean, I'm fully willing to admit marginally more attractive than I am. just like 1% more. But honestly, the first thing I noticed about him whenever I met him was just how funny he is. And we talk a little bit about that as well, because I was keen to know if he would ever do any sort of comedy roles, because I think he'd be really good at that. So we talked about loads and loads of different things, and I did my best not to ask him stock questions, because if you've watched or listened to a few episodes of this podcast by now, you know that it is just kind of rambling. You know, not like physically rambling. I mean, there's probably some amateur mountaineers listening to this going, class, I've been waiting for the rambling podcast for a long time. I just mean kind of talking shit, you know, over a cup of tea. We talked about 1,000,001 different things, including the Tiger King, which was very enjoyable. And as a podcast guest, couldn't really ask for more. Guy clearly doesn't take himself too seriously. We were able to have a good joke. And yeah, we talked a little bit about fatherhood as well. So a wide range of topics, and really glad he agreed to do the podcast, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. Before we start, let me make you aware of the Patreon, which is patreon.com/teawithmepodcast, where you can get an extra bonus podcast on a Monday, as well as some ticket giveaways and merch giveaways and things like that. That helps support the podcast. So that's patreon.com/teawithmepodcast. If you want to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, nobody should stop you doing that. So just go and do it. You get 2 episodes of the podcast every week, and then 1 a week goes onto the Patreon. Without any further ado, please enjoy the Jamie Dornan episode of the Tea With Me podcast.
I'm just mucked up by a lot. Here we go. There we go.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Are you comfortable? Or are you relaxed?
I'm very comfortable. I've got a cup of tea. Has my
that's what I like to see.
My name on it.
Do you know what's right? This is mental. I had Eamon Holmes on the podcast last week, and he has exactly the same mug as you, right, with his name on it. So what are these mugs given out to Northern Irish celebrities, and why do they not get one?
Well, you're not. There's a like a game. You know, there's just different levels. you're not at that kind of level yet.
You think I'm still playing the demo?
Up in locally made up in Antrim, and they send them out as soon as they feel you're worthy. Basically.
Who has them? You, Holmes, Frank Mitchell,
Me,
Mary
Winker,
Peters.
Winker Watson.
Oh, Winker definitely has one.
Mary Peters has loads of collection, big collection of them, and Barry, who's the weather guy?
Barry Best. Barry Best. You've moved away from here for too long. Barry Best. Unreal.
Barry Best.
Unless Barry Best is an older guy that was slightly before my time.
Yeah, he could be his dad.
Barry Best. Enjoyable. Very enjoyable. I mean, I feel like we've just started the podcast. If you're happy enough, I think we just keep rolling.
Let's just go. Let's do it.
Right. I've got to first of all ask you the big question. You're not on social media at all anymore. So there's an air of mystery about that, and people will want to know, do you drink tea? What's your tea situation? How many cups you drink in a week?
That's a question I've always wanted to be asked. Let me think about it. Do you drink tea? When I was younger, when I was a kid, I used to think that it was really like cool to be like addicted to tea. I remember hearing that word addict and thinking it was like a positive word.
Why, when you were a kid, was it cool to be addicted to things and have knee injuries?
I'll tell you why. Because there's that show Telly Addict. Do you remember?
Yeah.
With Noel Edmonds, I want to say.
Right. Edmonds presented everything around that time anyway. So everything. So he did that, and like, we obviously watched it as a family. And there's a bit at the end that was all just for kids, called like Noel's House Party or something. And yes,
these,
Noel's House Party. Yeah,
right. We get all these class presents away. Might not even be connected to the same show, whatever. I remember just loving that show and the word addict and going, "Oh, that's a cool thing." And then asking my dad or my mum what it meant, and they were like, it means that you like something so much that you can't stop having it." And I was like, okay. And I was like tea? And they were like, yeah, you really like tea. And I was like, so I'm a tea addict? And they were like, I guess you're a tea addict. And I wore it like a badge of honor. I thought it was absolutely class. I go around going, I'm actually addicted to tea. I'm an addict. So
they're trying to wean me onto the peppermint here, but
but I won't. But back in the day, they didn't have peppermint back. This is in the glory years of just builders, and that was it.
Just straight up tea. I mean, I feel like saying that you were really into like adult drinks was big back in the day, and if you played football when you were a kid, to say that you had, and I quote, dodgy knees. I mean, no child had dodgy knees, but lads in the playground used to wear full knee straps.
God, it's exactly. I mean, I have more of a rugby background. It was exactly the same type of thing. You're going on about your gammy shoulder or something like when you're 12.
There was always a fella during the warm up as well who would be like, "Nah, lads," he'd drop out and start doing his own weird stretches. He was 100% fine. He was 100% fine. How many cups of tea would do you reckon you take on board in a week?
Way less. Since my addict days.
You joined Tea Anonymous.
I'm doing really well. My sponsor says I'm doing really well. I barely drink tea. You know what? You and I talked for a number of years about trying to do something together, and I'm always like, no, fuck off. But now I've got literally nothing to do. I thought, well, I'll give some a run out. But I looked up this thing. I didn't realize it was about tea until about 10 minutes ago, and our tea themed. So I ran down, and I would say this is the first cup of tea I've had in about 3 weeks.
See, I thought this whole lockdown would bring people together with tea a lot more, like people like yourself. I mean, not as extreme as yourself, people who had full addictions, but people who maybe just flirted with tea. I think now is the time where you're just going to drink a lot of tea.
Well, there's also the whole track that it's meant to wane off COVID-19 warm drinks.
Yeah, so, through a drip.
If anyone's taking it that far, I'd be so impressed.
Would that not be the
It's
most
like
Northern
IV.
Irish thing? We're just going to give this a go here and see what happens.
I used to, when I first moved to London, 2002, I didn't know anybody, and I worked in a pub for 6 months. 3 months full time and then 3 months part time as things started to pick up, and I had no mates, and the only couple of guys I knew were medical students in London, and we used to go out on the lash, and then I'd stay at their house. They'll share this house together in like Bow in East London, which wasn't very cool. Now it's probably very trendy to live in Bow now, but it wasn't where you wanted to be then. And the next morning, like on a Saturday, Sunday morning, they'd have stolen drips and other equipment from the hospital, and they'd be sitting. That was their way of dealing with a hangover, and they would sit there with their IV in, just sitting there like watching like highlights of football or whatever, just with a drip and just rehydrating themselves. I mean, it was kind of unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I'd like to hope that those people now do not practice medicine, because that's dodgy. Like.
They do. One of them's up in Craigavon or something. So yeah, if you get sick in Craigavon,
don't go see that guy.
Like after.
What's your lockdown situation? You in England at the minute, sort of in the countryside?
I'm in the countryside. We were had the whole family in New York. I was about to start shooting a mini series out in New York, and we were renting a place in Brooklyn, and we were 3 days from starting to film it. We'd been there for 3 weeks, rehearsals and all the pre-production stuff. And 3 days before this all happened, we got locked. We got shut down after a couple of days. Initially, just for 10 days, and then as the news got worse and worse, and I was like, we just had a calling to get home. We was like, it's going to get bad here. Let's get home. So we all jumped on a flight, and we've been home for 2.5 weeks or something. So to be honest, it's the best place we could be, because we live in the countryside. We've got a bit of space. The kids can run around a bit, not losing their minds. We're homeschooling them. I've actually just done PE, just taken the PE class.
I like to think you put some sort of like old school like Slazenger tracksuit on, whistle around the neck.
You know what? I actually did. The first day, I was much more. I actually was going to train. I'm trying to like keep as fit as I can in the midst of all this. I think it's for your sanity, you have to. And I scheduled my day so that I would take PE and then go straight into training myself. So I was feeling killed out, and I must have looked ridiculous. And I had them doing circuits. I mean, this is only the older two. They're 6 and 4. 2 little girls. I've got another 1-year-old girl. And I had them doing circuits. Now, it wasn't that tough, I didn't think. It started on the trampoline. They're like, it was a minute and a half dancing, and then they had to pick up a rugby ball and like run around this thing, and then kick the rugby ball, chase after, and then eventually throw the ball in a bucket, and then get the rest, and then start again. And they did it twice, and they were literally on their backs, absolutely knackered. And I was going, guys, we've got 5 more to go here. And they're going, no, Danny, I don't want to. So then I've really taken the foot off the gas since that with my PE. Today I'm just wearing normal clothes. We went out and, it's kind of tough to find stuff for them to do. Had a load of balls I threw around, they got all different coloured balls. And I'd be like, pink, and then run and get the pink ones, put them back in the bag, and green. You know how it goes. And then more rugby. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm using what we have here. I've got, rugby ball, football, some golf, so we're using what we have. And the rugby, I took my grubber kicks down the hill and making them like gather them. And
I mean, I feel like you're getting more out of this than they are.
As I'm saying this, I'm realizing that might be the case.
Let me ask you this, because people are passing time with a lot of TV, a lot of Netflix. Please tell me you've watched Tiger King.
Mate, come on, do you know anybody who hasn't watched it?
What a phenomenal show. Do you think that like if you lived in that part of the world, you might have got tricked by Joe Exotic back in the day? Because he was tricking a lot of boys. Like,
listen. I think those poor lads, they were like 19, very impressionable age. You know, that's a very impressionable age for me. 19. That's exactly when I was deciding to drop out of university. I said I wanted to move to London. I didn't really have too many opportunities. I knew a mate of mine back in Belfast who had been working in a pub and knew that he was leaving to come back to Belfast. So I knew there was going to be an opening in this pub, and the guy is an English guy who ran the pub, but he really liked Irish people apparently. So he was like, he'd said to my mate Neil that he wanted to fill the spot with another Irish person. So I was like, listen, I pretty much bite myself a job here just in the back of where I'm from. And but if in that time, with very little opportunity and having dropped out of uni, if the likes of Joe Exotic had called in and said, listen, you've got a great setup here, you know, we'll feed you stuff from the bins at the back of Walmart. Like that was, by the way, that bit was the most harrowing bit for me, that they were using that meat for the pizzas.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why up until that point you're like, I'll give Joe Exotic a chance here, and then when he did that, you're like, oh, Joe, for fuck's sake.
I was like, I turned around to Millie. I was like, you know what? That's put me right off.
I think
something up with him.
I think he definitely would have snared me, because like I remember even about 10 years ago there was a guy lived down our street and he had a 3-legged dog, and I would spend about 6 hours in his garden. So I mean, if he had tigers, different ball game. I'd definitely had a ring on the finger for sure. Would you be interested if you were approached by like a major film studio to play Joe Exotic in the biopic? Would you think about it?
It's not going to happen for me. Listen. You know, I'm maybe more husband material. You know, I can maybe squeeze in one of those lads, the guy with no teeth.
Yeah.
Potentially, that's sort of more my kind of, you know.
Why did Joe not hook him up with just a couple more teeth? Like, because he was giving him everything else.
No, but did you hear now in the aftermath of it all? That poor guy apparently has had his teeth fixed, and he was like raging. They'd done the documentary and they actually had film footage of him with proper teeth, and they hadn't used any of that footage. So they totally done him over by only showing him with like 3 teeth.
I mean, I like that. Like, I mean, this whole situation, this whole lockdown, everything. It's obviously so terrible, but I like that the one thing that's bringing everybody together, no matter what your background, location, is just this exotic zoo owner, Joe Exotic. I mean,
I know it's mad, but the whole thing is like him. Obviously, he's a standout figure in it all. But the whole world, like, you have to be a total lunatic, obviously, to be involved in the big cat game in any realm at all. You have to be you have to be nuts to be given a big cat, or certainly to like be given a sanctuary for them. I mean, that was just like such a band of misfits. Like, I couldn't believe that there's so many weird people involved in one thing. You know,
I mean, I think to have like to own one tiger, you would have question marks over you. But whenever you go, I own 96 of these, and also I've got 14 wives. What I like is the guy who's like Joe Exotic's mentor, Doc. You know, the guy with like the long hair. I heard him in a podcast last week, and they were like, why do you have so many wives? And he goes, oh, Netflix really fucked me. He's like, a lot of those people that were shown were like, some of them were my grandkids, some of them were just neighbors and stuff. Like, they were just putting everyone into his wives category. So, I mean, I think there's the odd spoof along the way, but like big, I mean, as soon as this lockdown lifts, all those big cat zoos are going to do serious business. Like,
or they're done for. One or the other.
I still think, like, if you said to me, like, would you be interested in heading over to Joe Exotic Zoo? Even the lunch, I'd even risk the lunch. I would just like to be around. I like the atmosphere. I like everything that's going on. I like his songs. I'm just obsessed, like most people.
Taking on a meat feast at his pizzeria.
Well, that's how.
It's just not somewhere I want to find myself, to be honest.
When Joe Exotic says come around for a meat feast, that's not what he's talking about. Stuffed crust, yes, please. Look, I want to talk.
Do you reckon anyone in Northern Ireland's ever entertained the idea of having an exotic animal?
I mean, there's definitely fellas with like, there's bound to be like fellas with sheep that they're spray painting black and orange at the minute. Like, definitely, that's. I mean, it would be like a counterfeit exotic zoo. Like, it wouldn't be the real. It wouldn't be the real animals at all.
Oh, good.
But
The
there's
Belfast
definitely
Zoo
one guy.
itself has some. Belfast Zoo itself has some animals that don't look right.
Oh, I remember going to see the polar bears in the early '90s, and those guys did not know what was happening. Like,
No, I went. Uh, it sounds like I'm trying to crowbar in some stuff about my career here, but before we did the first series of Fall, myself and Brona and the kids who were playing, our kids, David and Sarah, really sweet, and their parents, we all went to Belfast Zoo to do a bit of a bonding thing, so that when we came to film, we'd have some sort of idea that we looked like a real family and we knew each other a wee bit. And it was the first time I'd been to Belfast Zoo in 20 years probably at the time, and it was alarming. I mean, the gorillas, the gorilla was beating himself in the head, like literally in the corner, just like whacking himself in the face. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this isn't what it's meant to be like.
but I mean, I don't even. It's Belfast Zoo. Like, I don't even know if that is a gorilla or just like a guy. You know what I mean? Like, I think it might well just be a guy who's pulling a fast one. I'm not totally sure.
That's not a bad gig.
I remember whenever I was
was
like 5 or
decent.
6 going to Belfast Zoo, a couple of my cousins took me, and a peacock got out, and you would have thought that the world had been invaded by tigers. I mean, a peacock got out,
Yeah,
and it wasn't interested in going around everyone. And I remember the sheer pandemonium, and then people being like, "An animal's got out."
Oh, sure.
I mean, definitely let people know quickly that it's just a peacock. I still ran like.
A peacock. It's a very beautiful animal. I'd be mesmerised if I saw a peacock out in the streets of North Belfast. What's the animals escape from Belfast Zoo all the time?
Yeah, I think they're pretty relaxed. Like, I think it's like, like an open prison, Belfast Zoo. I'm pretty sure it's like, come and go, just be back for 7 sort of thing. Like, it's like, I'm pretty sure some of those penguins work in the KFC and Boucher, like, they're not as strict as some other zoos, but it's a good time. I want to ask you about
KFC and Boucher's closed.
I want to ask you about do you say KFC and Butcher's closed? And it's not really, I mean, if you know a fella, you can still. Nah, but if you know a fella, like, you can get sorted out. When this lockdown started, I saw a video that hundreds of millions of people have seen, the Imagine video with a load of actors, well-known people singing John Lennon's song Imagine. How did you get involved with that? How did that come about? Because you're like the second guy in it.
Yeah, it goes by billing of importance. From no one knows who you are to like superstar by the end. Listen, it's a funny thing. Not being on social media, I wasn't really that aware of the negative reaction to it. But I got it. I was made aware quite quickly by some mates. But it's like it was early on in the lockdown process. Gal who organised it, she organised it with Kristen Wiig. Kristen Wiig and I did a movie together last summer that's meant to be coming out this summer on the 31st of July. Who knows what's going to happen because it might either. They're still hoping it'll get a cinematic release. Who knows? So Kristen and I did this movie together in the summer, and we're just going on brilliantly. And I'd do anything for it. But, that's how highly I. By the way, I'm like the biggest fan of hers before.
Oh, she's
with her anyway.
Great in everything.
It's a genius. So her and Annie Momolo, who wrote Bridesmaids together, they've written this thing, and they're both in this thing that I've done. And so Kristen texts me, whatever, 2 days before that came out, saying, hey, whatever, usual, this is all mad. Listen, my friend Gal and I are trying to organise this thing to try to lift people's spirits a wee bit of everything that's going down. And we basically just want you to sing a line of Imagine. You can either pick between this line and this line. I was like, yeah, fine, whatever, of course I'll do that. Sounds like a lovely thing to do. you know, and then Chris was like, actually, we want you to sing this, like, No Hell Below Us. I was like, Grant, that's fine, I'll do it. And it's literally a case of, you know, putting the kids are like driving you mad, going, oh yeah, I get that. 2 seconds, Daddy has to go and do this thing. Yeah, no, she's actually texting me about it now. Hold on, I'll go and do it. Hold on. No hell below us. Okay, right. What is it? That's what happens. And then you send it to Chris and she's like, perfect, this is great, it's going to be great. And then whatever happens. And Chris like texts me like a couple of days later going, sorry. And I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? And she said, well, there's been a lot of negative stuff, it's all whatever, we're just trying to do a nice thing. I was like, yeah, listen, I understand. But I had got a mate, I had one of my mates, another actor, had texted me saying, it's like, yeah, I'm just watching this video of all these like pompous, like self-righteous wanker actors singing them at, And then, you know what, I haven't gone and looked at it. I haven't gone and looked at what people are saying. But you know what, I tell you what the problem was. I literally did mine in like the toilet or something in my house. There's a little bit too much, like it's everyone's in a very weird headspace at the moment. You know, everyone's on their phone constantly, and some stuff people are finding uplifting, sometimes people are whatever, but there's too much of quite clearly people have escaped to their second home. There's too much acreage in the background. I felt, you know, too much like beautiful swinging trees clearly by an ocean, that sort of crack. And I was like, oh, and I was quite aware of that when I was doing it. I was like, I don't like I was just make it normal, not as normal as Ruffalo, who I was like straight like that close to his face. But listen, whatever. I mean, well, you know,
were you tempted to go falsetto?
I was trying to. Well, that's also the thing. I nearly text Chris and go, "What key?" And I was like, just go for the way it's, you know, the way we all know it, the way that John sang it and played it, or do we, you know, because you don't know what's. I don't know anyone else who's involved. Kristen hasn't said. So far, we've got Mark Ruffalo and Sarah Silverman. He hasn't told me anything. She hasn't told me anything. So I don't know what I'm in with. What, like, how seriously are people taking it? Like, or like, is it meant to be sung really well? You know what I mean? So I thought my best approach is do it quickly and get it off. Yeah.
I mean, but that's such a nowadays thing to be angry at that. It's like, come on, we'll lift people's spirits. We were like, no.
No, absolutely. I mean, listen, break it all down. That's a very well-known, successful, beautiful person who I've never met, but everyone I know says she's really lovely and she's all about like being good and kind, and essentially that she's trying to do a good and kind thing. It just gets nailed for it. And, you know, I just got dragged along with it. But listen, you know, what am I gonna do?
You talked about The Fall earlier, which I think, I know they were filming a lot of stuff back home before that, but it kind of paved the way for loads more stuff to be filmed back home. But do you enjoy filming back home, or do you find that, like, is it a wee bit of a distraction? Because, like, I guess you get a lot of people being like, come and do this, and, you know, a lot of friends want to hang out and stuff like that.
I'm happy to hang out with my mates. You know, if my mates want to hang out with me, I quite like that. But more the former there. To be honest, listen, I love filming at home. Like, I love it so much. You know, and I've been quite conscious about trying to play Irish characters so far in my career, and I plan to do that throughout my career if I can. And I'm setting up a production company at the moment, and we've got like 2 projects that are very much set in 2 of them set in the north, 1 set in Dublin. And, you know, I was lucky enough with The Fall to come back for 3 series to do that. I just filmed this thing with Emily Blunt before Christmas down in over in Mayo. And that is important to me, to keep doing that and tell stories from home. Because I you know, slightly biasedly think I think Irish people are the best people in the world. I really do. And it is such a unique thing to work with an Irish crew, northwest, southeast, whatever, just Irish people. it's why is it call ended? Why is it saying call ended?
It's not sending for me.
Send it for me. Maybe am I still recording?
Yeah, I can still see and hear you.
No, come out of this. Oh, listen, I'll take these off for a second. But you know what I mean? Like working with a purely Irish crew like that is it's brilliant. It's brilliant because you just have this total shorthand understanding of each other, and you're not having to explain yourself, and you can talk in the way you want to talk, and no one's going, so what was that? Like, literally not understanding what you're saying or not getting the joke or whatever it is.
Yep.
It's great being on the same wavelength as a whole crew. So I'll always try to do stuff at home if I can, and I love it. Listen, I'd probably get more hassle or more tension at home than anywhere else, but and that could be a wee bit frustrating. But you can play to that. I'm not going to go to Lavery's on a Friday night. You know what I mean? Like, or the Bot on a Wednesday night. The student that would really don't know how it works back home anymore. But like, I'm not
with a crew jacket from the fall.
I'm not doing that. I've been out with you. We've been out in Hollywood a couple of
nights. I was going to say that's why Hollywood's great, because you can slip under the radar. Like it's very, the bars and stuff are very non-fancy. It's not about. It's kind of just about like going out and drinking. Literally, it's people who have their heads in their pints and they know to give you like a bit of a Bible.
Yeah. It's not people going out to be seen and go to like most like Ollie's or like I really haven't been out in like club in Belfast in 15 years probably. But that's not the crack in Hollywood. And if I'm out in Hollywood, I'm usually with my mate Dermy, who I think you've probably met.
Yep.
Is
Dermy and Mikey.
Driver. Yeah, Mike, exactly. So Dermy's was my driver on the fall through the whole series, and this thing, Death and Nightingales, which I did back in home a couple of years ago. And he's like family to me now. Like he's like with my entire family, and I love him very much. And he loves drinking, and is like Mr. Hollywood. Has lived in Hollywood for a very long time, and so I've usually got him by my side, and he's a imposing physical presence, and it's kind of great because I just sort of shields you from people, whatever, and. I remember that night we had. I'd been at the rugby, Ireland, Italy, with Mike E. Rogers. Would have been 2015, I think, because it was Dricko's last ever home game.
Yep.
The Aviva, and we had been on it all day from sort of 10:30 a.m. in the car with Dermy on the way down. Right back, and then like on the way we were like wrecked, and we were like, so we'd go for an Indian in Hollywood. On the way back, we went to Indian Ocean. Mike, within 3 minutes, smashed a bottle of wine, smashed it all over the floor, red wine.
Was that just to announce? Was that just to announce your entry?
It was. I said, I'll wait outside. I'll wait outside. Just go on. Don't be long. It's freezing. Go on out there and just turf a bottle of wine.
Drop a Merlot and let them know I'm coming.
Yeah, good times.
But yeah, that was great. I mean, that's one of those ones where like, even I was like, and we chatted on Twitter and stuff like that before, but even I was like, you know what, you probably don't get many nights out at home. I was like, I'll say hello, and then before I knew it, a couple hours later, there's like 12 of us getting like a five-a-side football photo taken at the top of the high street. Some boys are down, knelt in front.
Mate, that literally popped up on my, your memories or whatever the crack is on my phone the other day. And it was actually, that's what got me to then email you and go, here, should we do a podcast? Because it came up, and I was like, who the fuck is it? It's like, who's that lad? And then you're in the back. I'm doing like the captain's pose, with like as if I'm holding like a ball or something, like for a trophy. It's very weird, but that was
a great night, and just an ultra serious photo. I mean, everybody's taking that totally seriously.
I think we talked about actually joining like a 7-a-side league or something.
Just to get photos like that. and we all got matching tattoos.
Yeah, it's class.
We all got the date. We all got the date tattooed on our arses. It was a good time. Would you like to do more comedy? I mean, I don't know if maybe you have already made some stuff in the last year or two, but is that something you'd like to get into more? Because especially that night, I was like, you know, sometimes when you're a stand-up and you talk to people that are performers but not really known for comedy, they try and make you laugh almost. But with you, it's kind of just natural. Like I remember that night, your mates and my mates, like none of us had met before, but it was just good crack. Is that something you'd want to do more of?
Yeah, to be honest, yeah. And like when I first started being an actor, I guess I was like more drawn to that, and I thought I would do more of that. Not because I'm saying I necessarily think I'm funny, but I was just more comfortable with the idea of that, of like trying to portray something that's going to make people laugh than trying to portray something that's going to freak people out, scare people, shock people, whatever it is. But then, you know, you play a couple of twisted characters and, you know, no one's going, you know who'd be great in this comedy? Jamie Dornan from The Fall.
The Nutty Professor reboot.
He's the guy. Look no further. So it's those calls didn't really come. But before that, early on, before I did The Fall, like a long time ago, I was like writing stuff for Funny or Die. Do you know Funny or Die?
Yeah. Will Ferrell's website.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like writing stuff for them that sort of never got to the published stage, really. So I guess it's kind of bullshit. But like I was developing this thing, I'd written this whole thing for them about drink driving in LA and all stuff, and then I had this idea for the sketch thing with them. So it was also looking like it was going to go that way, and then I did The Fall, I guess, and then, you know, you just out of that loop, and it's quite cliquey comedy, you know, and you have to sort of be part of like the Judd Apatow crowd or whatever it is to sort of get in. I'm talking on in an American sense, and then it's obviously different in UK and in Ireland, whatever. And then, but that's why I feel so lucky that I've just done this movie with Kristen and Annie, because like,
is it comedy? Is it like out and out comedy?
Oh yeah, I mean it's like out and out, like mad comedy, like so silly. Could barely get through the day laughing so much at how absurd what we were doing is. But there's obviously a very like prominent story that runs through it, but it's so silly, and that's naturally where I go and I feel very comfortable in. And to be able to do that with, you know, people of that caliber, and you know, it's an interesting thing if you're from the other side. You were saying there about talking to me and like hanging out with me that night or whatever. If you're then talking to someone who's funny or like deemed to be funny, you're trying everything not to be like, oh, I better make them out. I'm going to throw a couple of these jokes I've been working on.
Yeah.
You're just trying to act totally normal and hope that they find you funny. And so I'm, you know, day one on set with Kristen Wiig, and I'd met her before leading up to it and stuff, and you know, just like keep it tight.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully whatever she will find you, the essence of you and whatever's funny about you naturally, because most people are funny naturally, they have something funny within them. I just let that come out, and then I just couldn't have got on better with those guys. You know, we just had such a laugh, and being able to make someone like Kristen Wiig laugh is like a real something I'll never, you know, take for, you know, lightly. You know, it was it's cool. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe more. I'm writing something at the moment. Okay, and quarantine life has brought me to that. I've written stuff in the past like, that when I look back on now, it's probably pretty shite. But this was a long time ago before my career kind of took off, and I think I've got a better handle of structure and how to you know, create stories now and tell them in an appropriate way, in a funny way. And I've always erred towards comedy with my writing. And so I've written this thing, I've written a pilot. Funnily enough, I think there's a part for you in it. I was going to talk to you down the line a later date.
Like a beefy meathead weightlifter type guy, is it? Or?
No.
Yeah, like a strong man, people are like, is he on gear, is he on steroids, whatever? Like a powerlifter, powerlifter one.
It's not. No.
All right. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I'll be up for it if you need me. But if you need me to like lose muscle or whatever, let me know, because it might not. My look might not work. If it's, I'm well. I'll change my body for it.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I think we're actually thinking about it now.
No,
we might go in a different direction.
No, we've signed. No, we've signed. That's cool. We signed the agreement there. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
You gave me a thought. You gave me a wee thought there. No,
Appreciate it. Yeah, happy to do it. Oh, you want to bump me up? Okay,
yeah.
cool.
We'll probably.
I don't like being the lead. I don't like being the lead. I like being the guy who just pops up every now and again, steals the scene.
Yeah,
gets
I don't
out.
think that part's going to be in it anymore. I've just been thinking there.
Spin off.
Want
to do a spin off? Cool.
No,
give me a shout.
That won't happen.
Run that over by me. I've got some rules I want to pitch to you. I want to run by you. I've been thinking, what could we do together? We're all on lockdown. People are open to ideas. I'm thinking, me and you, the mountain guys. And you thought that idea was that good. You nearly broke your cup. The mountain guys. Yep.
Is it like Brokeback Mountain?
Well, it's open to interpretation. It's basically you and me in the mountains. That's where it's at now. That's what I've got so far. And
like in like Pergampin Hills.
Yeah, it could be. It could be, every episode could be different high altitude situations, and I don't really have much after that. But I've got the mountain guys.
I like it.
What about Who's at the Door? Just DOR. You host it. I'll just exec it. And basically different celebrities you can't see knock a door, and then you have to work out based on their knock who it is.
Based on their knock?
Yeah. So if I was to go, bum bum bum, who would that be? Knock knock knock.
Rory.
Who?
McElroy.
No, McElroy gets people to knock doors. McElroy hasn't knocked a door since 2002. because his caddy does it for him. That's why he on and off the course. He just comes along behind him. But no, that was actually Christopher Biggins. That was Christopher Biggins. I've got the Tiger King's ring as a concept idea. If you'd be interested in that. That's basically when Joe Exotic gets released, he has one wedding ring, and whoever he gets it on first loses. So, I mean, it's something we could chat about. I mean, I feel like I'm the front runner to lose. Pardon?
How is that going to work from he's incarcerated?
No, that's what I mean. As soon as he gets out, or you and I, or alternatively, you and I could go in.
Go into prison.
Yeah, just for the show. I'd be willing.
I like that.
For the show.
I think I'd do well in prison. I'd like it.
See, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if I went in, I would obviously have everybody's respect, but I wouldn't like to just be the boss straight away, because that's kind of just sort of physical stature and like
size wise. Yeah.
I'm sort of funny as well, so they'd be like, I'd be doing impressions of the prison guards and stuff. The lads would love it. I'd be bringing them together, but then I wouldn't like the day-to-day admin of being the prison boss, you know.
No, I got you. Just straight to boss, right? Yeah.
Straight to boss. Yeah, I mean, literally, if I went into jail, I think I would, you know, like some people are like, just stay in the fringes, and I would just go straight up to the pool table, and I wouldn't even stick a pound down, but I would put my hand down and I go, I'm on next. But I wouldn't put anything down. I'm just laying down my marker, you know. But yeah, I think
have cash.
Pardon?
You
wouldn't have cash in jail?
You don't have a quid on you?
No, well, no, it's more of a metaphorical thing. I'm more putting, do you know what? I would put down something temporary, but it would act as a pound. So even if it was...
Maybe like drawing a wee picture, like during arts and crafts time, and you can draw like a quid and cover it gold and all and stick it down the table. So
yeah, when I go, boom, I'm on next, you know. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely see us doing something high altitude anyway, mountains, forest. Yes. What about the Forest Boys with the Z? A bit like mountain guys. That's where we just sort of go into forests, and the rest.
I've got to be honest. I don't think any of these are good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think we picked up mountain guys. I think if you just want to do mountain guys.
Mountain guys, if it was like a sort of more of a reality thing, you know, fly in the wall thing, where we are just thrown into those mountains behind the vet in Hollywood, or those behind Hollywood Golf Club.
Yeah, start there. Start there
And
for the pilot and see how we
we're
go.
just thrown in there with nothing but a cax on, and we are told we have to get to Ned's, and we have a tenner,
yep,
and a lighter, and nothing else.
And a couple of Freddos. I mean, filming in Hollywood would be good as well because you've got so many characters, you know, like Hollywood characters. Like, I don't know, do you know the Necks?
No.
In Hollywood, because you've got No Neck. These are just guys that live in the town. No Neck, Neck, Baby Neck, and Fat Neck. 4 different guys, which is enjoyable. They're 2 sets of brothers. Genuinely true. Look.
Really? Who's your mate? Oh, we were having a proper laugh outside the Hollywood Social Club. Your mate with the ponytail, the postman. What's his name?
Chick Wilson. I mean, is that not a great name or not? Chick Wilson. Okay, and there's no K on the chick, which I find rude.
I would no joke, like, come back from playing rugby on a Saturday, come back home, quick shower, some lunch, and race to Sea Park to watch him play for Hollywood.
Chick Wilson. There's talk that I think there's chat that he's Hollywood's all-time leading scorer. Some people say it's this guy called Mark Crawford as well, but Chick Wilson just is like an immortal figure. Like, he's never aged also, you know, like he's always been somewhere between like 40 and 70.
It's been 25 years since I've seen him.
Do you know Soda Malcolm from Hollywood? You ever see him? He would often sit outside Centra smoking, very, very old. Like a wee man, he would always sit in the wall.
No, but that's a good look, sitting outside Centra in Hollywood High Street smoking.
He's always there at 7 a.m. He passed recently, so R.I.P. Soda Malcolm. But
right.
You know, speaking of rules, you know, rules you've had, rules you might have, like Mountain Boys trademark. Yeah, I'm about to undertake a big role of my own, which is fatherhood, potentially the biggest role ever. What sort of tips? Yes.
Are you actually serious?
Imagine me, like, yes, I am, yeah, genuinely. But like, I'm worried. I hope my face gets like older or like more manly, because if my kid's getting bullied at school and they're like, my dad's coming down, what about when this guy arrives? I'm just going to get beat up by the children.
That's brilliant news. First and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you.
Class. I didn't even know you were in a steady relationship. Maybe you're not, and that's
I'm married, and like, people don't know this sort of thing. People are like, are you sure you don't still like live with your parents or whatever? But no, I'm like a genuine married guy.
You give off living with your parents vibes.
Yeah, I give off living with my parents, and like an exotic zoo owner might snap me up vibes. If you get,
definitely.
I look like I'm ready to pet a tiger.
What you need is like something. Can you grow a beard?
No, absolutely not. No. I can grow like a very French waiter mustache, but then I just look like I'm in like a murder mystery or whatever. I can't grow a beard.
So you never had like a problem at school of like looking in the mirror before and going, I'll get away with that, no one's going to tell, and then getting absolutely right to get into school for your task?
No, I had way bigger problems in school. Growing a beard was the least of my problems in school. My main problem was, why will they now put dance on the GCSE syllable for guys? But they're like, we're going to do the haka. I was like, well, that's not real dance. I need to express myself. I wanted to try and get tap on there, but the other boys weren't behind it.
Your fatherhood.
What's a tip you wish you'd had once you were in it? You're like, I wish somebody had told me this.
I'm a real like prophet of good news with it. Like I you know what? I wish more people would tell me how good it is. Like, because so many people, as soon as you or your wife say you're expecting, they go, oh, they sort of feign that they're pleased for you first. They'll be like, oh, that's great, listen, well, listen, say goodbye to sleep, or
Yeah, I've had that a lot.
That's your freedom gone. I mean, most people, that's their response. That's just harsh. Like, by the way, a lot of that's true, but the thing we are best at as human beings is adapting, and you just go with it. That becomes your new normal. And if you're clinging on to like, oh fuck, I used to be able to sleep into 11 and stuff, you're not ready for this. Like, you've got to accept there's massive consequences to what you either didn't decide to do, did accidentally, or you made a decision to do, and you've got to fucking live up to that. So I mean, it's the best thing in the world. Don't have a few, like, I have 3 girls, under 7, and listen, there's times where you're like, this is a fucking nightmare, like, what is happening here? And you can't be equipped. You're just like, no matter what book you read, no matter what advice, you're like, nothing can prepare you for some of the situations you find yourself in, and it makes you feel even more like a kid, because there's so many times you have to be a grown-up, and you're like,
yes,
okay, like, especially now, a 6-year-old was asking me like big questions about death and does God exist and all this sort of stuff, and I'm like, they're tough questions.
You're like, less questions, more throwing rugby balls into buckets. All right.
Exactly. I'm like stuffing grubber kicks into the corner, making them chase them. It's the best advice I was given since I've been a father. So this isn't that helpful for you at this stage, but it's a producer out in LA that I've worked with a few times, and his whole thing is like, whatever, he was like, for now, like just for now, like everything, because I'd be like, oh, this is a nightmare. He goes, yeah, for now, because everything is fucking phases, and you get yourself into these situations where like, this is a nightmare, and they're not sleeping, and we're having to why, and then it doesn't last forever. Everything, it's so, just goes in cycles, and there's some of those cycles are really bad, and then some of them are really good, and but essentially it's an amazing thing. It's what we're here to do. I think that's why we're here, probably, in the greater sort of scheme of things.
We're here to bring children into the world and to make mountain boys.
Well,
am I right?
And make mountain boys there. That that's it. Like that's when you really break it down. And actually, to be honest, this sort of self-isolation thing has brought that home even more. Now, some people are going to be really struggling. I'm totally understanding of that. And I'm very lucky that we have space and a garden and room for them to run around. A lot of people don't have that at this time, and small kids must be a nightmare. I'm not closed off to that.
Yeah. But
it is amazing for the kids how much the happiest our kids have ever been, because they're just got us all the time. Instead of you daddy having to go away to work, mommy going up their studio to work, whatever. Like, they've got our undivided attention.
Yeah. And
for them, that's all they want. So it's unbelievable. It's made me appreciate even more all this, I'll still be delighted when they go back to school. But it's
sign them up for every after school clubs. Listen, you're going to Japanese here and swimming.
Never say it again.
I mean, that sort of ties me into my final question, which is, do you think that you'll come out of this whole lockdown thing with a different attitude to anything? I don't just mean work. I mean, I kind of have, it's helped my work ethic a lot. Like, I always think of myself as, I work really hard, but since this whole thing started, I'm like, maybe I just put out a sketch a day, like a video a day, and I've been doing that. But why have I, maybe not every day, but why have I not always been doing that? Like, I bought a camera a couple of years ago I've never used, but now I've used it every day for the past 3 weeks,
Yeah, I think that's true. And, it's just a time thing, and you realize how much your time pre-coronavirus is taken up with just bullshit that kind of adds stress. Like, it's even stuff like, going, oh, I've got to meet, have dinner with this person, or, oh, we haven't seen them in a while, they've invited us around for dinner, or, oh, what time, I'm going to have a quick coffee with so-and-so before I pick up a kid. All this stuff that's feels fine and nice at the time and stuff, but like, don't really need to do any of it. And you sort of don't need to be seeing people as much as we see people. And if you don't see those people for the coffees and you go for a run with this person, do whatever the fuck it is you do with people. it's fine, and maybe seeing less of friends is a good thing, and because it gives us time. Like I would never. Also, I'm a real thing. Like if I'm know what jobs in terms of phones, if I know what job I'm doing next, I can't read it. I can't read a book for pleasure. I'm always have to be like, I need to be doing work on the script, learning lines, or preparing this and researching this. And because I'm, without sounding like I've been consistently working, I'm trying to take time off here and there, but usually I know what I'm doing next. And for this, listen, I do know that I'll go back to the production I was meant to be doing in New York, but I don't really know when that'll be because everyone's just guessing at this point. Got a bit of an idea of when it might be. Now, last night, literally got some news it might be, but it's quite a way off. So suddenly you're like, I don't need to worry about getting back into that until a couple of months before. So I would never have written this thing. I've knocked out a pilot in 6 days. I've never done that. Yep. And now I finished the second draft in 2 days. And now I'm going to do a series outline for the whole thing. I could, if I really put my mind together, if needs be were allowed, I could probably shoot the thing before, Christmas. You know what I mean? I would never so I think it does. It opens a lot of us up. I think this whole having this time to yourself, especially for people like us who are creative people who work in that world where, our time is very much, unless we're on a set or whatever, it is down to us and how we spend it and how we make the most of it in terms of, creating stuff for our careers or whatever. Whereas a lot of people, it must be difficult if they are literally told they go 8 o'clock, they're at this place until 6 o'clock, and they're told what to do all day, and they're doing stuff that can't be matched at home. You can do what you do at home,
Yeah.
So for a lot of people, it's different. But for creative people, it's a good thing. I keep speaking to someone last night at this conference called fucking Zoom. Why is everyone Zooms? This is Zoom. Everyone Zoom's taking over. They're the real winners in this whole thing.
Them and the wee Andrex puppy. He's killing it.
That's right. He's
fucking killing it.
But he's always been killing it. Like he's a favorite throughout time.
Also, how's he been that young for that long? I mean,
no. Well, I say a few versions of him have been sprinkled on pizzas at Joe Exotic's Pizzeria. You know what I mean? That's dark.
It is dark, but also true.
It's probably true. But yeah, I was saying this on this conference call last night. People have like great stories will come out of this time, and it might break in my industry this funk of like just an Avengers movie every 3 months in a slightly different guise, but the same kind of big tentpole movie, which are the only movies that are really making money or whatever. And I personally find that a wee bit sad that that's where we're at. It's only remakes and live action of a very famous animated film. Like that's we're just in this cycle of those sort of films, only films that are sort of having success. I'm not saying there's not exceptions, of course there are.
Yeah.
But there's going to be great stories coming to this. People, writers with time in their hands. They're threatening a writing strike right before this, and in LA that's obviously not happening now, and people can actually get on and create a lot of good stuff. So I think there'll be goodness in my industry. At the end of it, there's a lot of desolation in many forms because of this fucking thing. But just speaking from what I know from our world.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, got to thank you so much for doing the podcast. I mean, like you said, you have nothing else on, so it's bittersweet. But no, I really, really appreciate it. You taking the time.
And how do I get paid for this?
Well, you would basically send an invoice to make it out to Chick Wilson, no K, just CHIC. He will take care of it because obviously he used to be a postman. He'll be really quick at getting back to you because he's able to sort of get it out to you pretty quick. But
just do Chick Wilson Hollywood.
Chick Wilson Hollywood, yeah. In brackets, used to have a ponytail. But why don't we call instead because we're going to have Forest Boys, we're going to have Mountain Guys Mountain Guys. Why? What about this? We're both from Hollywood. Boys with a Z. Boys in the wood. Because we're in the woods. Do you want to say it back? Boys for life. Boys in the woods.
All right, thanks a million. All right.
Yep, appreciate it. Take it easy. Cheers. Good luck. with it.
Thanks, bye now.
Appreciate
it. All the best now. Bye. Bye. All the best now. Bye. Yep.
I'll fade it out there.
Yep. Trying to get it. It's just real fade out.
Yeah, I know, but there we have it, Sippers, the Jamie Dornan episode of the Tea With Me podcast. I really enjoyed that. I hope you guys did as well. If you were just listening to the audio version, there's a video version. If you just want to see, like, you know, two equally cute guys on YouTube, which is just Shane Todd, my YouTube channel. How'd to come up with that name? It is my name. You can see it there. Also, all the previous episodes, I really hurt my back whenever I moved there, and I tried to disguise it by just continuing to talk. But if you really listen closely, my voice kind of went a little bit. But don't worry about that. All previous episodes are available just in all the podcast places. You know what I mean? On Apple, on allow me to name one, on Apple and all the other podcast places, so you can check them out. Also, if you want to contact us for whatever reason, sponsorship, questions, whatever, you can do so on teawithmepodcast@gmail.com. That's teawithmepodcast@gmail.com. I'm going to finish with this. We always do a couple of charity reads now on the podcast because, hey, we don't have any sponsors because everyone's locked up. Phenomenal Akon impression. The first one is for the Marie Curie Hospice in Belfast. Christina Lowe's got in touch and said that they're struggling with funds at the minute as their donations rely on fundraising events. Obviously, all events across the board are cancelled at the minute. So they're asking for people if they can help to donate through their website, which is Marie Curie Hospice, or to contact the fundraising team if they're able to contribute. So if you think you can do something or you want to make a donation, you contact the hospice fundraising team on the Marie Curie website. They provide vital care for end-of-life care patients and want to continue to provide the best support. So yes, the emergency appeal for donations is on their Facebook page as well if people want to donate. So search for Marie Curie Hospice, Marie Curie Belfast. You know, you'll find it. I'll back you to find it. Also, somebody got in touch with me about a great event as well locally, which is called DJs Unite NI. Now, I've been playing a lot of rave music on the Shane Todd Show on BBC Radio Ulster, which is on every Friday night. I've been playing a lot of rave music. I haven't been asked to do this, which is a real kick in the teeth, because I've been playing dance music for 3 weeks now via CDs, and no one's asked me to do this, but it's an amazing event. What they're doing is 12 hours, 12 DJs. It's a live stream, and it's all in aid of the NHS. They're trying to help NHS workers during this time. It'd be run every Saturday actually in April from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. 12 DJs every time. I mean, that's unreal. It's just a full day of DJing. If people want to support that, this has just been run by some DJs. They've got together, and I can see that that's what this whole situation is making a lot of people do. Just come together. DJs, maybe a couple of them know each other, but now they're all coming together as a community, and they have a Just Giving page, which is DJs Unite NHS Fund. Now, what we'll do is we'll put links to both of those things in the description of the podcast. If it's something you think you'd like to get on board with, then you can do so. But there are charity call outs this week. If you have any more charity donations or shout outs or whatever, get in touch with us, teawithmepodcast@gmail.com. Thank you very much for watching and listening, not just this week, but all the previous episodes, and hopefully the rest to come. I'm really, really enjoying doing these podcasts, and I also do a podcast called the Boytown Podcast with my friend Dave Elliott, aka The Gap to Stonehead. You can check that out on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts as well. Thanks very much for being with me this week on the Tea With Me podcast. I'm back every Wednesday and Friday, and the Patreon episode on a Monday, which is patreon.com/Tea With Me podcast. Mountain Guys streaming on Netflix, hopefully soon.